What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in to JTR Performance YouTube. So this will be more of a technical video compared to what I usually do. The reason being is because I would like to help the next guy who may encounter an issue like this. What's happened is the truck pullout, right, that I've already installed into the C10 is a 5.3 with a 4L60E, and it come out of, I don't know, I think it's a 2003 setup. So it has the electronic throttle body. However, the wiring harness that we got here is a drive-by cable, okay? And it's for a 4L80, right? So 4L80, you're gonna have your 2 speed sensors, okay? And then you also have the same style transmission connector, 20 pin. However, they are configured differently. So I'm going to have to, we'll keep this output speed sensor. We will utilize the already ran input speed sensor wires to plug into the back of, so we got to add 2 wires. Luckily we have 2, right? And then what we'll do, they're already ran to the PCM. So we will just pop off the backs of these, pull the pins out, relocate them, and I'll cover that a little more as we get along. So to keep this as simple as I can, I went ahead and made a diagram, right? So we obviously index our connector to have the tab up to the top. Here's the S connector. Both the 80E and the 60E use this pin. However, for the 60E, we have to move it from here to the U position, okay? This is where the U position is. Then we have to add a new S pin, right, which will go to the blue connector at pin 79. Then we will add a T pin and connect it to the red connector at pin 42. Okay, so we'll get into it. Right here are the red and blue connectors I'm speaking of, okay? So let's get into disassembling the connector, okay? We'll get this disassembled, and then we will verify if we have those pins where they're supposed to be, right? So we'll just keep checking our math here. So again, tab locator at the top, and that's the arrow, so it kind of helps you out. Arrow at the top, tab locator, okay? All right. So the S pin, as you can see, will go to the U, and then the where we get added. So this right here, let's go over here. What color do they got it? So you can see it right there. And all we got to do is we'll come in here and see if I can get this on camera the best I can. All right, so I have finally, all right, so it took me just a second, you know, trying to be super careful, right? This is a really good harness. Don't want to damage anything, but what I've done is, see, you can pull this all the way out to the back. See that? So then, right, we make sure we're indexed properly. Refer back to our diagram. This needs to go right here. So we're going to put this right here, okay? And we just go to the back, and it's labeled even. So kind of went in from the front. Look at this, pulling this bad boy out. So the thing is, you want to get, they're all different. Sometimes they're not like that, but Okay, so that is in, we have taken S, put it into pin U, okay, and then obviously when you do that, you can just give it a little tug, see if it comes out. It shouldn't, so, because what they do is, obviously you push them in there, and then like these little keepers keep it pinned in there. So now we're on to add a new pin S, and then we're gonna add a T. So the thing is, I went to AutoZone and they didn't have the right connectors that I needed. All right, I picked up this guy and it just doesn't seem to have the proper things that I need. So what we're gonna do is just get it off from here. This is just a old, I'm pretty sure it's a 60E harness, but all I need is just the pins out of here. That way I can properly kind of create a pigtail. So I just need 2 of these, and to make this quick and easy, why don't we just go ahead and just grab some. So there's one, and this is the connector I'm talking about right here. So nice and small, yeah. And then we'll just grab another. You could actually do this like color coded if you want to, but I have a feeling not all of those wires in that new harness coordinate, so there's no sense in us getting that crazy with it. So now we can save this for another day. Done with that. All right, so now what we're going to do is, like we already said, going to add an S, a new S, and a T. Okay, so we'll take our harness, and so look on the back, right there's our S. So why don't we just go ahead and put pink in there for S. See, there it is, see it, boom. Now we Alright, so you see how we can pull on that and it won't come out. That's what we need right there. So pink, got our new S, and now we just need to get our T. Right, and that's going to be on the right hand side of U. So we look under here. Alright, T, but T also has another one of those crazy So you see how that popped out just a tad? Let's go ahead and finish pulling that out. So there's that. Pop that in there. Alright, so we're good. Right, so T is brown. Right, now we can just start reassembling our connector. So obviously we want to make sure we include these new pins in with our connector. All right, so the connector portion is done. Let's move on to the PCM connectors. All right, so we're going to get a hold of the blue connector. I've already cut off the zip ties that were holding the wires to the cap. We just got to take this back cover off. This looks like it's going to be a pain. Yeah, you can see that this is just, it's all like new and fresh, so it's just a little harder to get off than maybe something that's old. All right, so finally, well, almost have this. All right, so I got that connector off. Oh, real quick, got a little ahead of myself. So we took the back off of the blue connector, which is fine, right? Because they both got to come off. But we got to switch gears over here to this red connector real fast. My mind's going 1,000,000 miles an hour, so sorry if this is getting confusing. All right, after you have fought this thing for a solid minute, finally, the red connector is free. And now what we have to do here is we have to get the vehicle speed, input speed sensor wires, right? Which there are 2 of them. And those are the 2 that we're going to connect to our little pigtails that we made on the connector. The reason being to do that is because these wires have already been ran all the way through this entire harness and have ended up right here. So it's going to be so much easier than trying to strip them all the way out from the harness than it would be just to take a wire from here and give it to here, or vice versa. Right, so looking at the instructions, the input vehicle speed sensor, both wires go to the red connector at pins 22 and 23. And now let's check it out, right? So just for verification, these wires are a blue and white or gray striped and a red and black striped. So now let's see what we're looking at on the red and 22 and 23. All right, so that looks like to me, these are it right here. I bet. Let's see if the number's on there. Oh yeah, 22 and 23. So now all we have to do, pop off this tab, which should be much easier All right, there's that side. So there's like these little, there you go. So I got that. Like little tabs. These are indexed, so they're only going to go on one way. Watch me fight it. So again, 22 and 23 right there. So, and how are you going to do that is just lift this back just a tad, right? Kind of push it up, pull it out. All right, it's free. So I'm just gotta get the other one out. And again, what you want to do is push it up a little bit. And that way you can pull it out. All right, so I got our two wires out. Now, the only real cut that we're gonna have to make is gonna come down to this input speed sensor, right? So if I look at the way everything's gonna lay, you know, I'll cut it, leave me just enough, kind of clean up everything. Let's go ahead and pull the tape off of the speed sensor wires that we cut, right? And then we pulled those out of the PCM connectors. We're gonna get these out and visible so we can really get a hold of them. All right, so that should be enough, right? That's plenty to grab a hold of. So we come back to our directions here, and we've already removed the vehicle speed sensor wires from the red connector pins 22 and 23. Now we need to ensure that we put pin S connected to pin 79 via the wires we just did, and that goes to the blue connector. So we were just in the red connector, so S, whichever wire we have here, so we can choose from red or blue, that needs to go to pin 79. So I'll do red, pink, they'll match together. So I need to take the red wire from out of here, right where we got it, and put it in blue connector pin 79. So here's blue connector, right? Let's see if pin 79 even has any. So pin 79 is empty, as you can see right there, pin 79. So what we'll do is, again, take off the so this one right here is 79. And what we're gonna do is, remember, we're gonna take the red wire. I would really like to walk that all the way back. All right, so check it out, guys. I'm gonna, while these connectors will probably be about like this, it is not okay with me to do this. Just take that and put it over there, okay? So I'm going to walk these two wires back down the harness and get them laid out where they need to be so it doesn't look like a $12 installation, okay? As I said I was going to, I went ahead and got the red connector all finished up, okay? So I went and made sure those wires were separated. I left this one so you guys can see how we're gonna do it, okay? But again, you know what I mean? Make sure you write your stuff down. That way you keep track. So we already did the red connector, which is pin 42 to the brown and blue. Obviously, here's the red connector, here's our blue wire, and pin 42's over this way. So we are going to put the red wire in pin 79. And as you can see, '79, which is right here, okay? They have a weather pack. Let's see, did it go this way? All right, so I think I can shove it in there. So going to pin 79. Pin 79. So while that's in there, all right, again, these only go on one way. You can see the little tab index there, so I should index that one like so, but I'll show you they only go on one way first. All right, so yeah, it will not even go on the wrong way, so you cannot mess that up. Okay, so that's put together. Now we'll get our cover on the back. It's storming so loud outside, so if you guys hear any beating and banging around, that's not anyone or anything but the storm. All right, so now we would just zip tie this nice and neat, keep that nice and tidy, and now we are on to these last little connections right here. And remember, I've already got them wrote down, so pink and red, brown and blue. So pink, red, brown, blue. What I'm going to use are these little guys right here. So you just put those on there, use your heat gun, and we'll see what we can come up with as far as capturing one on video. So let's get to it. Just get your connection right underneath the solder, and those little red things right here and right here, those create like a weatherproof seal because they will melt. So a little toasty, but you can see it melts that solder joint in there and creates like a little weather tight seal. Some people may like these, some people may not, but we're using them. All right, so get this last one here. And again, you can see the solder joint is melted and everything is good to go. Now we'll just, let's go ahead and take this back off real quick to tuck our wires, this 480 set up, because we're no longer set for that. All right, so you guys get the gist of it, right? We're just going to tidy this back up, you know, get everything taped up where it looks good again, and we will be set for a 4060E. All right, guys, so that wraps up our wiring harness update, right? We went from an 80E to a 60E. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. We'll see you in the next video.